Hi, welcome to a gentle yoga practice. My name's Kaylee. We're going to get started today either in child's pose or laying on your belly. So you can choose either one of those shapes. I like to say at the beginning of pretty much every practice, this is your practice. You can choose any shape at any point that feels natural for you, or you get this intuitive sense that might be helpful for your mind or your body to find a little bit of ease. So when you're ready, meet me in whatever shape that happens to be today. And take a long inhale through your nose, really expand the breath, let it expand the belly and the rib cage. Open your mouth, sigh it out. And let your eyes soften or close if they haven't, and take another long inhale, maybe breathing in a little bit lower into your low back, the bottom of your lungs. You can always open the mouth, or you can exhale through your nose, whatever makes the most sense in your practice. Just let it go, empty, empty, empty. And take a couple more smooth breaths like that. Check that you're not straining for the breath, that you're just allowing it to move a little bit deeper. Notice areas where you might be experiencing tension or stiffness, and give those spaces as much room as they need. And take one or two more rounds of breath. And deciding that you'll use the time on your mat and your body today to take care of yourself, to move in ways that support you feeling as good as possible. When you're ready, you'll work your way to your hands and your knees. We're gonna set up for some cats and cows. Totally cool if you want to move around a little freestyle. Some days it feels good to get right into that spinal extension and flexion, and other days you might want to do some hip circles or body circles. When you're ready, let's start with the belly and the pelvis. So scoop the pelvis so that the tailbone is starting to reach toward the ceiling, then start to arch the rest of your back. Spread your hands out, and then imagine that you're pulling the heels of your hands towards your knees. You can lift the chin, find a little stretch in the front of the throat. And then we're gonna move from the pelvis again. So start with your tailbone, start to tuck it under, pull your belly button in towards your lower back, start to round your spine, finding your cat. Option in cat to come up onto the tips of the fingers. Either way, let your shoulders drop toward your ears. So let the shoulders move up into the ears in cat. Keep pulling the belly button to the lower back. If you're on the tips of the fingers, we're going to spread the thumb and the pinky finger apart to drop the palms down as you pull back into your cow stretch. Breathe in. Go nice and slow. Cat, maybe you claw back onto the finger pads as you breathe out. Take a couple more. You can always do one hand at a time, inhaling palms down if you are on your fingers. And then exhale, maybe one hand at a time, rounding it into your cat. See if you can segment every little bit of your spine out. Maybe you close the eyes to feel a little more connected to this movement pattern. And one more time, syncing up the movement to your breath as best as you can without getting too perfectionistic about it. What matters is that you're breathing, and then ideally that the breath is deep. And once you finish that round of cat-cow, we're going to start by stretching the left foot back behind you. So you're on the ball of the left foot. And then go ahead and push into the ball of the left foot to stretch your calf. Keep reaching the crown of the head gently forward. You're looking down, maybe a couple inches, maybe a foot in front of your fingers. So neck is neutral. And we're going to shift forward, come onto the top of your left foot. So you're on the toenail side of the foot. And then start to roll that foot side to side, rolling all the way up into your hip. So you're using a little bit of abdominal strength to stabilize but we're getting some internal and external rotation happening at that left hip. The next time you opened the hips, so your hips are starting to spin over to the left, we're gonna take it all the way into side plank variation. So pivot your right foot back behind you, come up onto the sole of the left foot, or the inner edge of it if that feels better. And then reach the left arm up and start to draw some circles with your left arm. You're gently pressing the hips forward, switch the direction of those arm circles. Finding space in the lower back, so we're not cramping up in the low back here, or at least giving the body an opportunity to feel a sense of spaciousness. Let's take that top arm and just reach it over your head. Push your right hand down so you start to rainbow the body, lifting the ribs and the left side of the waist. Give your head a gentle shake or a little nod here, continuing to tune into the sensations of your breath. Breathe as if you could breathe with your whole body. We're gonna take it up into a gate pose. You'll pivot up and open. Right arm is gonna reach up, left hand finds somewhere on the left leg. And then pause, find some stability there as you start to find a side body bend. So the right arm's gonna reach over to the space behind you, over to the left. We're going to keep the crown of the head working toward the left as you bring your right arm over to the right. And stay there, but bring your left arm over the top of the head. And then you're not using your left hand to pull, just let the left hand get heavy. For my body, it feels better to kind of start to tip the chin downward a little bit, as well as invite that side bend. If this right arm is too much there, you can bring the right hand to your heart, to your hip, or somewhere else. I like the heart variation. Maybe you close your eyes again and just breathe into where you feel the sensation of the stretch. We're going to bring the left hand, that top hand, to the left temple, and then use your left hand to press your head back through center. Finding your balance, tee your arms out to your side, palms face forward, pull the shoulders together behind you. So bring your arms out to the side and then maybe a little bit back. You can soften the elbows there. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, bring the arms in front of you. Interlace your fingers, inhale the arms up over your head. And then we're going to bring the hands down, hinge at the hips. I'll turn to the side here. Hinge at the hips so that you're on your palms, your right knee and your left foot is extended back in space. And then we're going to shift toward the right heel and back forward. So you can always pad your right knee if, like me, you ran out of space there. We're just rocking forward and backward through whatever range of motion feels comfortable today. Long, smooth pattern of breathing. And the next time you shift forward, we'll pause. So the shoulders are over the wrists. I like to walk the hands in a little bit. You can always use fists for wrists if your wrists are getting a little fatigued here. And then bring your awareness to your right knee and your left foot. Engage your abdominals a tiny bit for support. Keep the low back long. And then imagine that you're trying to slide your right knee and your left foot together. So these 2 points, right, they're moving together. You're going to feel something on the inside of the left thigh and maybe in other areas. You can actually even bring your right hand up toward the inner left thigh all the way up toward the groin, and you'll feel some muscles tight in there. Those are the muscles that help us bring our legs together, the adductors, adductors. They support our hamstrings. Go ahead and relax, but stay in that same shape. So let go of that kind of energetic pulling of the left foot over to the right and the right knee over to the left. And then set your left hand a little bit closer to your right hand. I'm going to push into the left hand, reach your right arm up and open. And as much of a twist as you can here, bring your right hand behind your head here. So right elbow points up. The more you push the left hand down, the more that right elbow points up. Keep pressing the left hand not just downward, but energetically, like you're spinning your fingers counterclockwise here. Breathe in. And then we're going to bring the right elbow toward the left forearm. Yeah, that's what it is. Inhale, push into the left hand. Counterclockwise turn of the fingers as you lift up. And then do that again. This time we're gonna release the right arm up, breathe in. And then find threaded needle. So you can keep the left leg extended if that feels good. Walk the left arm forward. You can also come back to a tabletop, slide your left knee in, thread the needle that way. So find a version of the threaded needle stretch that works for you. Let yourself soften into it. Notice the areas where there's stiffness or tightness. Give them space, breathe into them. We'll be here for about 3 patient breaths. When you're ready to release, we're going to bring the left hand back underneath the left shoulder. We'll bring my right hand under the body, left knee underneath the left hip if it wasn't there, and then sit back onto your heels. Have a seat on your heels. Bring your fists back behind you, start to bend the elbows just a little bit, scoop the pelvis under, and then maybe you lift the hips up, finding a little counter stretch. You could keep the hips totally grounded and just let your chest stretch open. So again, listening for the signals in your body and really going with your own flow, going with your own range of motion today. If you lifted the hips, slowly lower your hips back down. We're in a neutral spine, so head over heart, heart over hips. Reach your arms up over your head. Take a really long breath in. As you exhale, press into the shins to stand up tall, kneeling, and take an open arm twist. We're going to come back to that sitting on the hips, reaching the arms up through the center. Breathe in. And then take that twist to the other direction. Long exhale, press the hips forward. Try and look back toward your back thumb. We'll go each side again. Inhale back through the center. Push the hips forward as you exhale. Try and show your shoulder blades to the space behind you. Back to the center. Long breath in. Open arms, other side. Spin the chest open. And back to the center. Reach your arms up on your inhale. And then cactus your elbows here as you exhale. We're going to interlace the hands at the low back if that's available. Lift the chest, lift the chin. You can also catch your opposite elbows here or hold onto your waistband or the back of your shirt or a strap. And find a little back bend, a little heart opener. Send your butt back, lift your chin up. Breathe in. And then draw your belly to your lower back. Sweep the arms around and forward. So think cat. From cat. Pull forward, drop the hands, little baby cow, like a calf stretch here. So it's not a big range of motion. Look from right shoulder to left shoulder. Any other kind of movement that might feel good. For me, I'm going to bring the knees together and the feet together and bounce the hips slowly from side to side. You can also play around with bending into the elbows as you do this. You might be taking a few rounds of cat-cow. You could be in child's pose. Can you find a smooth quality in your breath? When you're ready, we're going to come back to the center and work through that whole thing on the other side. So the right toes tuck, bring the ball of the right foot back behind you, and then push into the ball of the foot to stretch through your calf. Got a lot more tenderness on this side. So if you find that the right and the left sides of the body aren't exactly the same experience, you are far from alone. I like to think of it as a really good opportunity to practice mindfulness. So sometimes the second side of something, maybe there's a temptation to go into autopilot because it feels like you've already done it. But in reality, no experience is the same. We can never step into the same river twice. The same is true for the body, even the same side of the body. Go ahead and come onto the top of the foot now. And then rock the foot side to side as you let the hips rotate side to side. This could be a small range of motion. Maybe you're just wiggling the foot around gently right here. When you're ready, we're going to pivot all the way open into our side plank. So bring your left foot back behind you a little bit in space as you reach your right arm up, and then draw some of those arm circles. Just appreciating whatever range of motion your shoulder has today. Let it feel smooth. And adjust the range of motion, switch the direction of those circles. So if you're getting clunkiness or grittiness, slow things down and maybe change the range of motion a little bit, move around those especially sticky spaces. We're going to take the left arm, or right arm, excuse me, top arm forward, push into the bottom hand and the bottom knee, start to rainbow through your spine. So lift the right side of the ribs, lift the right side of the waist, let the crown of the head drop downward toward the space in front of your left fingers. Full body breath, every pore of your skin. And then push in to the ground, shift your weight as you come up into your gate pose. You start with that left arm up, and then start to add the side bend, reaching the left arm, bringing the right ear down toward the right shoulder. You notice what's going on in the lower back. Can you create a little bit more stability by scooping the pelvis under slightly and drawing the belly button in and up toward the low back? It's not a maximum scoop or a maximum squeeze of the abdominals, but just enough so that you feel a little more balanced. Stay here, but reach the left arm out to the side. Bring the right hand up over your head, and then just use the weight of the right hand to create a little bit more space in that side stretch. Remember, you can bring left hand to your heart, to your hip, whatever feels best. Right peace fingers move to your right temple. Use your hand to press your head slowly back through center. Tee the arms out really, really wide, shoulder blades squeeze, sides of the neck are long, breathe in. And then exhale, bring the arms in front of you, interlace your fingers, inhale the arms up over your head. And then we're going to release the arms, hinge at the hips, so send your butt back, butt goes back as you find your modified kind of adductor stretch here. And we're just going to start to shift forward and backward. To start, you're not trying to squeeze a ton. Maybe there's a little bit of muscular awareness, but see if you can move in a way that feels pretty smooth and supple. Remember, you can use your fists instead of your hands. And then we're going to pause with the shoulders over the wrists. Press down and energetically pull in with your right foot as you press down and energetically over to the right with your left knee. You're welcome if you've got your balance to reach and kind of feel for those muscles, those adductors in the right inner thigh. Just check that they're contracted there. And check that you're still breathing here. And then we're going to relax that contraction of those muscles, but keep the shape. Right hand is down, either the fist or the palm, as you inhale the left arm up and open. And then bring the left hand to the back of the head, point the left elbow up. Right fingers are going to turn clockwise. So rotate the right fingers just a smidge away from you. That's going to allow the shoulder blades to hug toward each other on your back as you breathe in. Top elbow to bottom forearm as you breathe out. Go nice and slow. Inhale, push into the mat. Clockwise turn of the fingers. Exhale, elbow to forearm. This time, reach the arm all the way up and open. And then set up your version of a threaded needle. So remember, you can always bring that straight leg, bring the knee back underneath the hip, and find a variation there. And what can you do to create a sense of ease in your body? What can you do to create a little bit more acceptance, or maybe even past acceptance, like an embrace of your experience. Really, really trusting that you're exactly where you're meant to be, that the way that the stretch is unfolding in your unique body is just right for you. And then come back to the sensation of your breath. You breathe in a way that helps move some of the tightness through the body. Breathe in a way that helps soften your eyes and your jaw. Give yourself one more really long inhale. Breathe right into those spaces where you feel the stretch the most. Maybe you open your mouth for this exhale. Start to bring your right hand back in, right knee back in, sit back onto your heels again. This time, just bring your palms face up onto your thighs, close your eyes. Just notice the sensations in your body, the way that the breath is moving through you. And without judgment, notice any thoughts or emotions that might arise. Just giving yourself space. Your life moves so fast. We all have schedules that it can be so full. So much to get done, so many different roles that we have to play. And we often don't get even like a moment to process. And so take this practice, this moment just right here as a gift to your nervous system. See if you can relax into it. And if you can't, see if you can relax into an awareness that you can't quite relax right now, but that's okay. Sit up a little taller, take a big breath in. When you're ready, open mouth, exhale. Go ahead and roll the shoulders around a little bit here, one at a time, maybe back circles with the shoulders. And we've got that same option for high kneeling with an open arm twist, or this time I'm gonna offer high kneeling with a half camel. So when you're ready, you can come up onto your knees, tuck your toes under if that's okay for your knees here. And then reach the arms up, big inhale. Let's take an open arm twist on the exhale. Go nice and slow, sit back onto your heels as you reach up through the middle and breathe in. And then take your twist to the other side as you breathe out. If the twists feel good, keep going with that. Inhale back to center. If you want, this time, bring your left hand to your left heel, push the hips forward, and then spin a little bit over to the left. Come back through the center, bring your right hand to your right heel, lead with your hips, half camel, other side, press the hips and the glutes forward. So you're either taking that open arm twist variation or these half camels. Close your eyes if you can. Can you make this movement so smooth? Start to even out your sides, or just get a sense that the movement's complete. Sometimes I forget which side I start on. And as long as it feels like it's a good stopping point, go ahead and relax, untuck the toes, and then sit down onto your butt, lie down onto your back, and bring the right knee. Let's bring both knees into the chest for a moment.
Either just hugging the knees in or finding happy baby by grasping the big toes with your peace fingers. Give yourself some room if the wall's too close or you've got some furniture in the way here, and just breathe. Let the eyes soften again or close them down. Any version of a spinal twist. You can bring the knees together, tee the arms out, drop your knees to the left. You let it be loose and easy here. Let the version of the stretch that you landed in, let it be enough. Come back to the center, take a breath, and then switch sides. Trust that your effort was enough. That in life and yoga, sometimes it really is our intention that matters. Trust that you did exactly enough. And most importantly, that you are enough. And start to work your way toward Shavasana, any version of a resting shape that works for you. And if you have a lot of pain in the body, a traditional Shavasana can actually be a really hard place to find some ease. If that's you, feel free to lay on your belly or your side. Feel free to use some props or bring the knees into a bent position. And not to skip this part. Trust that you never, ever, ever have to earn rest. It's the other way around, actually. We rest so that we can earn the energy to live our lives in the big, rich, expansive ways that we want. And really let yourself drop back into just a few moments of stillness and quietness to recharge some of those maybe more depleted energy systems. If you have more time to linger, feel free to shut off the video and stay longer. Otherwise, you can listen for my voice shortly to end our practice. When you're ready, come back to your sense of hearing and any sounds. And start to take some deeper breaths and bring some gentle movement back into the body. Might feel good to stretch once more as you work your way from whatever resting shape you chose to a seat. Take your time to get there. Move with a lot of respect and maybe some gratitude for your body. Oftentimes we notice what's not working well in our physicality and forget to acknowledge all of the things that actually are working amazingly. So settle into a little bit of that, almost like awe and wonder, if you can. We'll finish up with a cleansing breath. Take a big inhale as you lengthen your spine. Let your shoulders lift up into the ears. Lift them as high as you can. Sip in a little bit more breath. And then let it all go. Thank you so much for moving with me, taking care of yourself. Continue to take good care of yourself. I hope to see you again really soon.